Hi there, this is Teal for episode 17 of the Bare Essentials. How you doing, Charlie? You good boy? Oh yes, of course. Today we're going to look at another experience of Jesus. Last time he had just met the Pharisees, got them all riled up out in a grain field. Then Matthew, when he writes the story, what comes next, he says, and then Jesus went to their synagogue. It sounds like he went to church where the Pharisees were going, because the Pharisees were there. He goes to church, and all the people are watching, of course, and there's the Pharisees confronting Jesus. There was a man there who had a crippled hand, a withered up hand, maybe a birth defect or something like that. And the Pharisees asked Jesus, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? No place in the Old Testament does it ever say, thou shalt not heal on the Sabbath. You have to make quite an extrapolation from the law to get to the place where you're not supposed to heal. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the religious leadership had an interpretation of what work was. We talked about this a little bit before. And if you crushed things or smashed things, like if you're grinding grain into flour or corn into cornmeal, that was crushing and grinding. And because occasionally a physician would have a mortar and pestle or something, and he would grind herbs or leaves or something to make a medication of some sort, they determined that you could not practice medicine on the Sabbath. No healing on the Sabbath, because you would give the illusion that you probably are grinding things, and it's illegal to grind things on the Sabbath. So, as far as the Pharisees concerned, it is against the law to heal anybody. What Jesus did is he responded with a story. He said, which one of you, and he probably looked at the whole congregation, all the people that were in church that day, and he said, which one of you who has a sheep that falls in a hole, falls in a well, falls in a ditch, does not go and get him out and rescue him, even on the Sabbath day? And of course, everybody would agree. Of course, we would do that. We've done that. Then Jesus says, probably looked at the Pharisees, therefore, it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. He asked the man with the withered hand, he said, stick out your hand. The man stuck out his hand, and it became just like the other one. He performed a miracle of healing right there. He didn't touch the man. He didn't put a medicine on him. He just said, hey, stick out your hand. And when he stuck out his hand, it became whole. Matthew continues the story, and he says that those Pharisees were furious. They were so angry that they left the church, and they went and met together, and they planned and they plotted some way to destroy Jesus, some way that they could assassinate him. The story goes on, and it says that Jesus heard and found out about their plotting, and it says he beat feet and left the area and went somewhere else. Was Jesus afraid of them? No, he wasn't afraid of them. He wasn't afraid of them assassinating him. But it says something about his character. Although he was able to tell the truth and confront error, he was not confrontational, like, I'll fight you for the truth here. Instead of staying with it and pushing his point on the Pharisees, he left and went somewhere else where they would probably be more receptive. So not only do I see a demonstration of Jesus' character, and he was not that kind of a confrontational, flag-waving politician and wanting people to join his team. You know, he just went on to the next place and moved his influence there. But the other thing that I see here, excuse me, when we talk about being depressed in church, or not depressed, but disillusioned and discouraged with church, and it's usually discouragement with people, isn't it? Is all those people in church that day watched this happen, right? Jesus took common sense and he threw it in the face of the church leaders that were having so much power and control. Don't you think that some of the people that are sitting there says, you know, Jesus is right. This is disgusting, the way we have to keep these rules, and that they just make them up, it seems like, and make us do them and make us keep the rules. And then if we don't keep the rules, they kick us out of the synagogue or they'll stone us to death for breaking the Sabbath. So I see both things in there. I see a beginning point for dissatisfaction with the church based on people looking and finding something that's not what they expected, and it's disappointing that the Pharisees weren't being straight with them, and then Jesus, rather than being confrontational, left the area. Well, I hope you're having a good week. I'm having a good week. Charlie's having a good week. And if you want to write to me, you can. I'm hoping that this session and other sessions like it will be a point of encouragement for you and strengthen your faith. I told you before, I pray for everybody who clicks on the video, whether you watch the whole thing or not. It's okay. Bye now.